Here's Clark behind the back on Alman as she's going to get that. So we wish her well as Sykes as Clark got. Here's Clark from three. She's been trying to get that one all night.
Stephanie White still can't understand it. Night after night, Caitlin Clark takes some of the toughest contact in the league, yet the whistles rarely seem to follow. Against Connecticut, she spent the entire game.
Clark, step back three. That one will go, and she's knocked down a pair. With a hand in her face.
Fighting through bumps, grabs.
The delay of game made no sense. It felt like Tyler wanted to assert himself into the game, and that was ridiculous,
and hard physical defense. But the officials let much of it go. Even after the final buzzer, the frustration was impossible to hide. And this time, White didn't keep those feelings to
contact between Clark and LeCon.
And Clark hits a deep three!
herself. After the game, she made sure the officials heard exactly what she thought. The Fever coach has defended Clark all season, and once again she found herself questioning why one of the league's biggest stars continues to absorb so much contact without getting caught.
Low cross, behind the back, no look, Timpson with the finish!
Many believe she deserves. Just a week earlier, Brittany Griner got physical with Clark in the paint and barely heard a whistle. But if there's one thing we've learned about Caitlin Clark, it's that the noise never changes her approach. Criticism, physical defense, controversy, none of it matters. She keeps showing up and doing the same thing every single night, winning basketball games.
Sophie Cunningham went berserk.
On baseline, 2 seconds, 1 second, Cunningham hits it!
4. And tonight, Toronto learned that lesson the hard way. Clark finished with 21 points. 4
offense, they can get some good looks.
In-out dribble from Clark for the lay-in.
13 assists and 5 rebounds, coming just 1 defensive rebound short of a triple-double. It was another dominant performance from the Fever superstar, and once again she proved why she's one of the most impactful players in the entire league. What made the performance even more impressive was a
All the contact between Clark and LeCon.
And Clark hits a deep three!
fact that her jumper never really showed up. Normally, Clark's three-point shooting is what terrifies defenses. But when the outside shot isn't falling, she simply becomes a different kind of problem.
Clark, low cross, behind the back, no look, Timpson with the finish!
Instead of scoring from deep, she controls every possession as a playmaker. Indiana cruised to a 113-91 victory, and alongside Clark, Sophie Cunningham exploded for 24 points, looking more and more like Indiana's perfect co-star. Biggest stories around the league. Make sure to subscribe and hit the like button, because tonight's performance from Caitlin Clark deserves a closer look. This was the masterclass nobody expected. Here's the twist that makes a performance.
The rebound and push it. Up the floor. Boston sealing space and finishing.
Even more impressive. Clark's three-point shot was nowhere to be found. She finished just 1-for-8 from deep, shooting only 12.5%. On most nights, that stat line would dominate every headline. People would be asking what went wrong. But tonight, it barely mattered. 8. Why? Because Clark simply found another way to take over the game. Instead of forcing difficult shots, she completely dissected Toronto's defense with her vision and decision-making. Every possession seemed to flow through her. Every adjustment Toronto made created another opportunity for Clark to exploit. Her shooting...
Here's Clark behind the back on Alman as she's going to get that to fall over the front of the rim.
6 struggles became nothing more than a footnote in a dominant victory. The biggest number from the night wasn't 21 points. It was 14 assists. 14. One of Clark's best passing performances of the entire season. She was finding Kelsey Mitchell in transition before defenders could react. She was delivering perfect passes to Sophie Cunningham for open threes. She was feeding Aliyah Boston in exactly the right spots around the basket. Toronto tried traps, switches, and double teams.
Yikes. It was kind of a rough game, folks. It was. 5 of 15 from the field, 1 of 8 from three-point range, 6 turnovers.
But nothing worked. Clark read every coverage instantly. Her 10-for-14 performance from the free throw line told the rest of the story. She stayed aggressive, attacked the rim, and forced defenders into mistakes. Scoring 21 points on a night when the three-point shot abandoned her proves she's much more than just a shooter. There is still one area that needs improvement, and that's turnovers. Clark finished with 6 again. The aggressive style that creates so many highlights also creates mistakes. She pushes the pace, attempts difficult passes, and trusts her teammates to make plays. Against elite teams like New York or Las Vegas, 6 turnovers can become costly. Fortunately for Indiana, Toronto never had the firepower to take advantage. Clark still finished plus 14 while recording a double-double and controlling the game from start to finish. This wasn't the version of Caitlin Clark that buries teams with deep three-pointers. This was a version that controls every aspect of a basketball game through intelligence, vision, and decision-making. The game itself followed a simple pattern. Indiana established control early, winning the first quarter 26-20. Toronto briefly responded in the second quarter behind strong performances from Marina Mabrey and Laura Jusgate, even building a small lead. But everything changed after halftime. Indiana exploded for 32 points in the third quarter, while Clark's passing carved apart Toronto's defense.
Sophie Cunningham, guys, she was the light of our life tonight.
Cunningham. 4 for 4!
She went absolutely berserk, particularly in the fourth quarter.
Cunningham caught fire from deep. The lead ballooned to 24 points, and the game was effectively over. The fourth quarter was simply a matter of protecting the advantage. Final score, Indiana 113, Toronto 91-12. While Clark controlled the game, Sophie Cunningham delivered the knockout punches. She finished with 24 points on 8 of 11 shooting and knocked down 6 of her 7 three-point attempts. Kelsey Mitchell was even more efficient, scoring 27 points while shooting over 80% from the field and finishing perfect from the free throw line. Aliyah Boston added another double-double with 18 points and 11 rebounds, continuing her incredibly
Sophie Cunningham went berserk.
Go into the corner. Hines Allen shot fake. Hines Allen drive. Cunningham. Oh!
8 of 11, 6 three-pointers, 24 points in 24 minutes.
Consistent season. Indiana's bench contributed valuable minutes and helped the Fever build a huge advantage.
Mitchell probing. Step through over off the window.
Yeah, there's a lot of international players on that roster for
6 of 7, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. Kelsey had 27 on 9 of 11.
The bigger picture is impossible to ignore. Indiana is now 10-5 and has won 6 of its last 7 games. Clark didn't need a hot shooting night to dominate. Cunningham is playing the best basketball of her season. Mitchell is scoring with incredible efficiency. Boston continued producing double-doubles like clockwork. The Atlanta Dream are next on the schedule, and Indiana enters that matchup with all the momentum in the world. The rest of the league should be paying attention because this Fever team is starting to look dangerous.